Hey, Josh with Content Marketing Media. Last week we released the ability to create research and copy from any large language model. And we're doing that through a tool called OpenRouter, which gives us access to a bunch of different models that we've created here in a custom list. But we wanted to be able to bring in some of the great functionality of Clay to be able to then call, for example, Google Business Profile or a LinkedIn profile through any model that exists that we can access through OpenRouter. So just a couple things to remind you about OpenRouter and why we're using them is because, first of all, we can track pricing pretty clearly, right? So we can see in a very detailed way every run that we've made, and that comes through directly to the Clay table. So we know exactly what we're spending. The spending is equivalent to going directly to Claude or to Anthropic, to Google, to Cohere, whatever model we're using. Secondarily, we're able to bring in new models as they come out. So Snowflake Architect is an example of a model that just came out. Snowflake is a huge data tool in the corporate world, so a great model to test. And you really, to add them, we just cut and we copy the name of the model and put it in our Clay list. So that's another reason why. And I think finally it's just one API key, right? So utilizing one API key to connect to OpenRouter, you can manage multiple API keys if you want, but it's much more effective for managing cost. And it, again, just gives you access to every major model that's out there. So let's talk about what we did in this Clay table. I think it's pretty cool. First and foremost, we wanted to see, like in our previous videos, we were just taking a website and then doing research, right? So this time we wanted to see, can we use the Clay imports? And so I've obviously already done them here. We did a Google Business Profile and a LinkedIn profile, but let me show you how I did that. So I went import, and we'll just do find people from LinkedIn first. And then I am going to not choose it directly from a Clay table, but let's just say, founder, and then we'll just say location of Phoenix, right? And then for the heck of it, let's just say let's just say 5 year, actually, let's just say 60 months in current role, which would be 5 years, right? So I'm going to get a pretty big list, I would imagine. I don't know. It's Phoenix. It's a long time in the role. So it looks like I got 1,855 matching results. I could obviously pull those in, but I'm going to limit this to one just so we can make the table a little bit cleaner, and I can show you how it works. So we'll pull that in real quick. We'll get the result here in just a minute, and we're going to import them to the table. Okay, so that's the first import. Obviously, you probably know, depending on what plan you're on, I can do up to 50,000 at a time. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to import a business using Google Maps. So again, I'm in Phoenix, so we'll do Phoenix, Arizona, and then we'll do content marketing because that's what I do. And we will say, let's see here, let's move me out of the way. We will do one result. So let's submit. And just make sure we got everything there. There you go. All right, so we're going to get that one result. I'll move myself back over here, and we should be able to import that into the table. And you can do up to 200 at a time, right? So I pulled this one because I believe, just I wanted to have one example for everybody, right? So look, as you can see, we have a LinkedIn profile, we have a business found. So previously what we were doing with our prompting, right, is we came into the prompt table and we have the prompt already written for the research, right? But if you go into what the prompt is pulling, it's pulling the company website. So this time we don't have a company website, right? We have different data points, but they're still URLs. So for the first one, we want the Google Maps link because we're going to do something different. I mean, obviously we could pull the website, but this time we're going to pull the Google Maps link. And then for the second one, we want the LinkedIn profile. So let's just see if we can pull their LinkedIn profile information and their Google Maps information, which would be totally different approach than pulling their website, right? So I've already written the prompts. We'll make it a little just easy, but you can see them. Review the Google Maps links, give me relevant information. Here's the link, etc. And so we're just gonna update the table. Well, actually, it'll be easy to just update each row since we have two of them. But you could just update the table. So if you were doing this for everybody, obviously you could just update the table here. And so let me show you that. This is that prompt. And you could run that for the whole table like I did for the first three. But for sake of time, I'm just going to copy this here. And we're going to put it here next to this one, which is where the Google Maps one is. And the only thing we need to do in here is we need to update the URL here. So, and because I'm not doing it for the whole table, I'm going to have to cut and paste it. So if I was doing it for the whole table, I could just pull the field, right? But let's click on it and let's cut and paste it into the prompt, just because again, we're only doing one row. So it's not going to be dynamic, but it could be. I could just update the table, but I have different runs here, right? So let's paste that in here. That's the first one. And then for the second one, let's review the LinkedIn profile. This is dynamic prompting, right? Again, I know I've repeated myself, but if we wanted to do the whole table, we could just do the whole table the same way. But we're doing each row a little bit differently, which is why we're having to do it within the column itself or within the value. And so we'll put that there. But this just shows you, you know, what you could do, right? I think at the end of the day, it just gives you an idea of, you know, what you could do. You know, you could do 20 different prompts on 20 different rows if you wanted to. So let's do that. Let's put that in here, and then we'll just see if it works on the fly. So as I mentioned, it's connected to OpenRouter. So we have a list here, and I've used obviously a bunch of different ones here, but I like Command R and Command R Plus for website research. So let's put that, let's use Command R on one and use Command R Plus on the other, and hopefully I didn't mess anything up and it'll run. So let's run them. And we'll give it a second to run both. But again, while it's running, you remember you can use any model. That's the beautiful aspect of connecting it to OpenRouter, right? So looks like we had one success, one not success. So let's see, this is Command R. I'm unable to access the internet. So again, interesting because it just worked for the person above. So let's try Command R Plus and just see. You know, this is the reality of trying to do it live, but you know, it works, and that's the nice thing. So let's try Command R Plus. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it obviously did in this example above. So let's see. You know what? Actually, let's just, well, we can run it and see what happens. Maybe if not, we'll use Gemini. But I don't want you to forget you have access to a whole bunch of different models here. So that's the beauty of this, right? If one doesn't work, try another one. But I definitely did get it to work here above. So maybe it's Command R Plus, maybe it's Google, you know, Gemini. Maybe I just need to use the right model. But I did want to show you. Look, here we go. So here's the Google business profile information, detailed information, etc. And again, I want to make sure that it's the right business, but you can see how it can pull back information. And then we're still waiting on this one to run. But I want you to look at the cost, right? So we're talking about 4/1000ths of a cent. Here we ended up at almost 2 cents. So again, that's something we might want to look at a different model. But we actually did get the LinkedIn profile back, which is pretty awesome, right? So just a lot of trial and error and trying to do it live. But I think what's really cool is that we got what we were looking for. And then if we wanted to, you know, we could turn this into copy, right? So just give you an example, and I'll leave this in the table, but that is just another method where having dynamic research gives you the ability to just create whatever copy you want. So in the original examples, it was the websites, LinkedIn profile, Google business profiles. All of this is possible, right? And if you just understand what these models, especially the ones like Command R from Cohere and some of the other models that can call web searching, then as long as you can get the output from a URL, whether it's a Google business profile, LinkedIn profile, and you do some experimentation, you might find a more cost-effective way to pull back that research and create your copy or whatever else you want to do. So hopefully this helps. Appreciate your time.